Coronation Street's Kit Green has recruited an accomplice as he tries to prove Gary Windass was part of Theo Silverton's murder. Kit has been desperate to prove Gary's involvement in order to get Sarah Platt's sentence reduced. Sarah confessed to Kit last month that she was Theo's killer, and he tried everything to help her and shift the spotlight to Gary. But with overwhelming evidence, Sarah was eventually arrested and charged with Theo's murder. Next week Kit will continue to try and prove Gary's involvement, and he is now armed with the data from Gary's phone. A preview clip from Wednesday's episode, August 5th, shows that Kit will recruit Sarah's daughter Bethany to help him prove Gary's involvement. After filling in a shocked Bethany in on Gary's involvement in Theo's murder, Kit shares his plan to use the evidence on Gary's phone to show he helped her cover it up. While Bethany is not keen to drop Gary in it, Kit says that if he'd really wanted to help her mom, he would have made her go to the police immediately. Kit tells her that if they can prove Gary was the reason she didn't go to the police, Sarah could end up going free or getting a reduced sentence. Bethany then agrees to help him, especially after Kit reminds her that Harry needs his mom. Our Corrie insider previously explained, Kit is canny, and he now has the data from Gary's phone from the night that Theo was murdered. He then recruits Bethany to his cause by revealing that Gary helped Sarah cover her tracks and, in doing so, prevented her from doing the right thing. Bethany is desperate to help her mom, so it won't take much to get her on side. Further spoilers have revealed that Kit will find something that could really help him, and he invites Gary round for a chat intent on ratting him. Kit enjoys every minute when he realizes that he might finally have the upper hand, our source added. He toys with Gary by refusing to give anything away, instead promising to reveal everything later. So far, everything has been going Gary's way, as Sarah is refusing to drag his name into her legal case because she doesn't want to get him into trouble for helping her. But could Kit's plans derail all that? Trouble is about to explode on the cobbles as Coronation Street takes Kit Green's storyline in an even darker direction, with the police officer's latest scheme threatening to drag Gary Windass into a dangerous new situation. Kit has already shown that he is more than capable of keeping secrets, manipulating people, and staying one step ahead when his own interests are at risk. But upcoming drama could reveal that he hasn't been working entirely alone. As Gary finds himself increasingly suspicious about what is really happening around him, a shocking connection could finally expose the person secretly helping Kit behind the scenes. And once Gary discovers the truth, there may be no going back. Kit's secret ally exposed. For weeks, Kit has managed to maintain an image of control. He knows exactly what he wants and, more importantly, understands how to make other people believe his version of events. However, his latest plan is beginning to unravel. Gary has become increasingly uncomfortable with Kit's behavior. While Gary may not have all the answers, he knows there are certain things that simply do not add up. That growing suspicion could put Gary directly in Kit's firing line. The biggest twist comes when it becomes clear that Kit has been receiving help from someone unexpected. Rather than acting alone, Kit has allegedly been using an accomplice to gather information and manipulate events from the shadows. The identity of this secret helper could leave viewers stunned, especially because the person has been close enough to the situation to know exactly where Gary is vulnerable. Kit's accomplice could become the missing piece in a much bigger plan. Gary becomes the target. Gary has never been someone who backs down easily, particularly when he believes somebody is threatening the people he cares about. But Kit could exploit exactly that weakness. Instead of confronting Gary directly, Kit's plan could be designed. Kit may order his accomplice to take another step, one that could leave Gary with nowhere to turn. The plan could involve exposing an old secret, creating a false trail, or making it appear as though Gary has been involved in something far more serious than anyone realizes. And if Kit succeeds, Gary's reputation could be destroyed. There is also the possibility that someone close to Gary could become caught in the middle. That would make the situation even more explosive. Gary may be willing to risk almost anything to protect the people he loves, but Kit could use those emotions against him. The more desperate Gary becomes, the easier he could be to manipulate. Gary starts fighting back. However, Kit may have underestimated Gary. Although Gary can be impulsive, he is also experienced when it comes to recognizing when somebody is playing games. Eventually, small details could begin to stand out. A conversation that doesn't make sense. A suspicious coincidence. A person who knows something they shouldn't. One tiny mistake could be enough for Gary to realize that Kit isn't acting alone. Once that happens, Gary could begin quietly investigating. Instead of confronting Kit immediately, he could decide to play along while secretly trying to discover the identity of the accomplice. That could create a tense cat-and-mouse game between the two men. Kit believes Gary is trapped. Gary believes Kit has made a mistake. And neither man is prepared to back down. A huge confrontation ahead. The storyline could eventually build towards a major confrontation where Gary finally comes face to face with the person helping Kit. The revelation could leave him furious. But there could be something even more shocking waiting for him. The accomplice may have information that could completely change Gary's understanding of what Kit has been doing. Suddenly, what appeared to be a personal grudge could be revealed as part of a much larger scheme. And Gary could find himself facing a terrible choice: expose Kit and risk making the situation even worse, or stay quiet and protect someone close to him. Either way, Kit's carefully constructed plan could be heading towards chaos. With his secret accomplice now potentially exposed and Gary refusing to stay silent, the balance of power is beginning to shift. But Kit has survived by staying several steps ahead. The question is whether Gary can finally catch him before the next move is made. One thing is certain: Gary Windass is about to discover that Kit's biggest secret may be much closer to home than he ever imagined. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Coronation.